I want to talk to you guys about why I think Terraria is one of the best games of this decade. Number one is bosses. Bosses in Terraria are one of the best parts of this game. I really enjoy fighting every single boss except for one, and that is only on expert mode that I find that boss annoying, and that is Skeletron. In expert mode, he can stun lock you, and basically if you die fighting him, you're going to have to wait for the rest of the night to go by and all of next day to go by, and then you can fight him again when he spawns the next night. So you're looking at what, like 15-20 minutes of waiting, depending on how quickly you die or mess up to Skeletron. So there is that problem, but Duke Fishron, Moonlord, the Cultist, Wall of Flesh, Plantera, the Queen Bee, all of these bosses are amazing, and I even left out quite a decent amount of them too. Terraria definitely has it in the bosses department. Next up, we have exploration. Exploration is probably my second favorite part of this game. It reminds me of Metroidvania in that there's a lot of backtracking, but even when you're backtracking, you can sometimes come across things you didn't come across before. You could also, discover new items, get new drops when you're having to backtrack and you're fighting the enemies. So overall, the exploration is probably one of the more interesting aspects of this game. Our third one is combat. Combat in Terraria is very fun. It kind of also reminds me of the Metroidvania games like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, in that it has that same feeling as those games. The various forms of combat, the enemies actually put up a challenge if you're playing on expert mode. The regular mode, it can be pretty easy against normal enemies, but in the expert mode, combat against regular enemies can be actually pretty challenging. And then you add on things like expert mode for bosses, then the combat changes completely from the normal version of Terraria. You have different AI tactics for a lot of these bosses. It just changes the whole game, expert mode, and actually is one of the, I'd say, beneficial things for combat. The difficulty actually matters, and it's just not a HP, sponge. They don't just take more damage. Yeah, they take more damage. You deal less damage to them, but they also deal more damage, and their AI tactics change. For example, Eye of Cthulhu, one of the first bosses in the game, is much faster and has different attack patterns than the normal version of Eye of Cthulhu in Terraria. So there's a bunch of that in the game. So all of that makes the combat in Terraria stand out compared to other games, especially other games with difficulty settings. The next one that we have is the variety of biomes this game has to offer. There is a crap ton of different biomes in this game, and they're not all above ground. In fact, above ground, it's the typical biomes that you would normally expect to see. A desert biome, a beach biome, an ocean biome. I guess you could probably argue a lake biome, mountains or hill biome. The typical stuff. But below ground, you have all these different types of biome, like the marble area, underground jungle, a jungle temple. You have the dungeon. You have hell or the nether realm or whatever the heck you want to call it. There's just a bunch to offer, both above ground and below ground. So that's nice. Then you also got the floating sky islands, which I think there could have been done more stuff, in the sky, but maybe due to the world generation options that this game has, which is very limited. You have a small, medium, and large. There's no infinite option. Because of that, they might have not wanted to chuck too many things in the sky. I can see that reasoning for that, but overall, this game has a nice variety of biomes to offer, and that is very nice. In fact, I think they're kind of reaching their limit to how much they can offer for biomes in this game due to the world generation limit of, even if you were to go to large worlds, it's starting to get to that point. Can't really add too many more biomes into the game. Now we have music. Music is one of the most interesting aspects of this game. It seems to match just about every biome or location that this game has to offer. When I'm listening to the music or an event that's going on, it just seems to capture what is actually going on at that time. If there's like an event like a blood moon, the music matches that atmosphere. A pirate invasion matches the atmosphere. Heck, even the bosses, like the boss music matches, like especially on expert mode, it just matches what is going on. It's like you're fighting a challenging boss and you gotta be careful. Like that level of detail showed me that this game's music is truly spectacular. Not many games can match the music to the location, to what's going on, or to the events that's currently taking place. That is something special, and I honestly think more attention should be paid to that in other games. Match your music to what is going on or the atmosphere of whatever location you have to be at the time. And the sixth one on our list is the Minecraft-like sandbox building mode. In this game, you can mine the blocks of pretty much every block in the game, with I think maybe some exception. No, I don't think there really is an exception. Even at the bottom of the world, I'm not sure if you just fall through or if you just reach a point where you just can't go down anymore and you just locks you from being able to fall from the bottom of the actual, what would you call it? Planet? Plane? Let's just say world. Yeah, that's it. World. So you can pretty much mine everything. If there is an exception to that rule, someone will let me know in the comment section below. And then you can build tons of stuff in here. You can build pixel art. You can build like pretty elaborate, like I would say castles and fortresses and stuff like that. It's not the same as Minecraft, because Minecraft you're kind of limited. It's 3D. In my opinion, it looks better in Terraria, and I like building in Terraria a hell of a lot more than I like building in Minecraft for that one reason alone. It, like the art, the pixel, definitely makes this game stand out, especially when you want to build something in this game. Next up, we have a variety of different combat playstyles that you can play with. You have mage, you have range, which is bows and guns, you have melee, which is like actual melee, and things like yo-yos. You have summoning, which in my opinion there could be more options for summoners, because I mean in pre-hard mode alone you only got 3 summon items, and that can take you a good chunk of your playthrough in the amount of hours spent. So that's kind of sad. The first item is pain in the butt to get, the slime staff. I mean, you have to get it from a slime, or you can potentially get it from a slime king, but the drop rate ain't that great. The first one that you'll more than likely get would be the hornet staff from the queen bee, and that is actually still pretty far into the game for at least getting your first weapon of that type. Throwing is another style, but like I said, there's not many options, especially towards the end of the game. It's kind of limited. So the really main ones that if you want to not make the game too challenging for yourself are the mage, the range, and the melee. Summoning can do end game content, but in the beginning it's kind of hard to get it. So that's the reason why it's not in the main list. But all the playthroughs, or all the play styles except for throwing, are pretty fun to play. I mean, I definitely like throwing, just limited. I don't like being limited like that, with especially in the end game. This next one's going to be a little short one, and it's fishing. I really like fishing in this game. I played fishing in both Stardew Valley and Terraria, and I honestly like Terraria's fishing more. It's simple, it's relaxing, and it's just something that you can relax to. And Stardew Valley, it's actually more challenging, and you kind of have to be focused, so it's less relaxing and more of like you're only doing this because you want something from it. It's like not a relaxing thing to do, at least in my opinion. Other people might find it relaxing, but definitely like fishing in this game, and it is very relaxing, and the rewards can be pretty good if you stockpile crates, especially for when you reach the hard mode in the game. If you don't really care about that, even in the beginning, yeah, you can still get some pretty good rewards as well, like a pretty powerful it's like a mining item from the ocean. I think it's like the reaver shark. So yeah, there's definitely good rewards to be had by fishing, and it's also pretty fun to do. Problem is, you need to stockpile a bunch of bait. Other than that, fishing is probably one of my favorite things to do in this game. This last one is a little bit of a bonus special. This game does have a great community behind it, especially the modding community. It brings tons of quality of life and extra content into the game if you just get bored of vanilla Terraria, but you still enjoy playing Terraria as a whole. It's only on the PC community, or version of the game, I should say. Not on the console, not on the mobile, and I'm pretty sure it's not on the Switch. But if you're on the PC version of the game, definitely should give the modding community and look at the various mods out there. Like my personal favorite one is the Max Stack Plus, because it can increase the block limit, like like stone blocks and dirt blocks and all those, to 9,999. So basically 10,000 instead of 999, which is a tenth of the amount of space that you would normally get, because your inventory can get cluttered very quickly with all these junk blocks that you might still want for like building purposes later on in the game or for building farms. And that is it for this video. Those are the reasons why I think Terraria is one of the best games of the decade. Pretty much all aspects of the game I enjoy, and I honestly think this might even be one of my favorite games of all time. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like. If this video reaches 1,500 likes, I will end up doing another Terraria series. I won't tell you what that series is, but I personally would like doing it, and I would actually personally watch a Terraria series like this. And if you're interested in more Terraria content, give the video a like. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a nice day.